She's an assistant professor at the University of Seville in the Department of Arab and Islamic Studies. Her title today is very appropriate for this kind of meeting online, The Structure of the Universe as a Network.
The starting point of this talk is of Ibn Arabi's text related to the idea of knot or node and bones or threads. The first concept we will deal on in this talk is that of the raqiqa, or plural raqa'iq, which can be translated as subtle relations or connections, the links, sila, that are extended between the realities or essences, and they are similar to the rays of the sun, Ash'a, in its fineness when they reach the sight, the human sight. Each reality irradiates rays that links the upper realities with the lower ones, and through them knowledge and existence is supplied. The masculine and feminine, which are united in the haqiqa but ordered in the circle of creation, have differentiated their ranks before of a difference of raqiqa. The raqa'iq have a lot to do with the pass from the unity to the differentiation. The fire and the smoke link the realities to make them become united as much as the smoke is united or connected to the flame. Everything is or becomes muttasil, connected, and not muqati'. Between these forms, suwar, of the high spheres, ulwiyat, and the forms of the low elements, sufliyat, threads are extended to the most beautiful names and the realities of lordliness. So we have the upper and lower spheres connected with the divine names. We have also another idea very important related to raqa'iq, which is that of projection and reception. Ibn Arabi explains there are three letters that correspond to God, which are alif, zain, lam, and three letters to man, which are nun, sad, and dad. Both of them, if we multiply them by the three worlds, mulk, malakut, and jabarut, would give us a result 9 spheres. 9 and 9. And Ibn Arabi calls the 9 God spheres as spheres of projection, and the 9 human spheres, the spheres of reception. From each of the essential realities of the 9 spheres, subtle bones extend out toward the 9 human spheres, and from this reciprocally go back to the divine spheres. The relation don't come in one direction only, from God to man or from high sphere to low sphere, but also they follow the contrary path toward their origin. So there is a reciprocity, a dialogue, even as we shall see. God created rank, makana, before he created place, makan. Then he stretched tenuities, these tenuities are the raqa'iq, from rank to specific places. Then he brought into existence the things in their spaces. The raqiqa is created before the haqiqa. You have to create before the thing itself, before it comes to existence. You have to create the raqiqa that will give him or her or it existence. I have displayed here this diagram designed by Fenton and Glotton. What I wanted to show is an image of how intricate this net of raqa'iq can be, and also show this dialogue or cosmogonic drama among the divine names. It is very interesting, this kind of dialogue, that when we see that God talks to his own essence, and they both talk to the name Al-Qadir, to tell the name Murid, to put in order the whole cosmos. The origin of creation, it is a sort of dialogue between God and his essence with the names, with the rest of name. Of course, every name has a different function in that drama of cosmogony of the universe. We will find also this passage in Futuhat al-Makkiyah that says, God has made the human being as the sum of the subtle connection of the whole world. And from him to everything in the world, a subtle relation extended. The human being is the locus of not only all the haqa'iq of the world, but also the raqa'iq, all those links become united or gathered in the human being. A very important aspect is the mutual influence. There is no form in the lower world without a likeness, mithl, in the higher world. Between the two worlds, there are tenuities which extend from each form to its likeness. They are ascending and descending ladders. Sometimes they are called affinities. The raqa'iq have implications with the angelology doctrine of Ibn Arabi. There are subtle threads which extend from the universal soul to the throne. These are like ladders, ma'arij, for the angels, while the meanings that descend in these tenuities are like angels. So we'll have that these threads that make a net, wherever these bones meet, and the verb used here is ishtama, the angel itself is the meeting point, and it is there where the angel comes to existence. I like the idea of using the verb hadatha to mean that when two lines are crossed with each other, an angel takes place or happen there, because it's a very dynamic image of the universe. No? The angels are not established in fixed places, but they are being created. Ibn Arabi tells us about the movement of the human being, the jinn, and the angels, and he tells us that the angels are the only creatures able to move in every direction. God created in the veiled world of the unseen, al-ghaib al-mastur, a world impossible to unveil from the part of the creatures, which is the greatest element. This creation took place at once without a concatenation of occasion nor causes. This supreme element, it is identified sometime with the mysterious principle of life, the central dot of the cosmos, the prime matter, the divine sustenance, and it is more seminal and more basic than the first intellect. It is kept in the most hidden of the hidden, and it has a specific inclination toward the world of primary writing. The world of recording and writing, it is formed by the pen and the table, and also the ink and the inkwell. This greatest element is the most perfect among the existent things, and if we were not to have a secrecy covenant which prevents us from exposing its transcendent reality, we would have exposed how everything other than God, that is Masiwallah, the creation, is connected to this element. The first intellect or pen emerges from an inclination of this greatest element. From the first intellect, subtle relations, raqa'iq, are extended to the soul, the prime matter, the body, the fixed stars, the center, and the elements. And through an ascending movement, they reach in gender beings, the human being, and the greatest element, where these subtle relations tie together. In relation to the sphere of the world, the greatest element would be the central dot, and the circumference would be the pen, while the tablet is what is between them both. And in the same way, the dot comprehends the circumference in its essence. This element comprehends in its essence all of the facets of the pen, which constitute those subtle relations we talked about before. The greatest element is stronger when recognizing the unity of its creator. It is able to unite or gather all this multiplicity displayed in the universe through the manifestation of the pen on the table. The single monad, as the smallest and most simple base of creation. It has a special relation to water because in a passage in Uqlat al-Mustawfis, and Ibn Arabi mentioned the greatest element, and he says that we would understand what the greatest element mean if we understood the Quranic ayah, we made from water every living thing, in Quran 21:30. The other place where these bones, these raqa'iq, tie together are, as we have seen, the perfect human being, the Insan al-Kamil. God made him arise as a perfect copy of the universe, bringing together in himself the forms of the contingent realities, as well as the names referred to the eternal. He made him, exalted be he, as an intelligible essence linking Rabbit to realities, the contingent and the eternal. He created him as an isthmus, barzakh, that brings together the two sides and the two subtle relations, those two aspects which are opposite and contradictory are linked in the human being. It's one of the central aspects of this book is the intellect, al-aql. This is what René Guénon tells us about the bond and the knot. He says that the basic symbolism of the bond is that of the link of all states of existence, one to another, and them to their principle. What is essential in every case is that the line should be unbroken. I recall again this idea by Ibn Arabi. In the universe, the things are muttasila and not muqati'a. So we shall not see the universe cut it with fragmented elements. So he says, René Guénon, what is essential in every case is that the line should not be broken. The path of the line may be more or less complicated. Thus, the thread may double back on itself so as to form intertwining or knots. Each of these knots represent the point of operation of the forces corresponding to this or that state of manifestation. It is this knot which maintains the being in the state in question. The points of your intersection of the threads of the warp and of the woof, a tissue is nothing more than a concatenation of crosses made of thread. These threads being, in a way, the lines of strength that define the structure of the cosmos. The knot fixes the being in a determined state, but at the same time, it is what unites the multiple states to their principle. Far from being a theta, it becomes, on the contrary, the means by which the being can actually rejoin its principle and the very path that leads him to that goal. The knot that fixes you, but at the same time lets you be connected with the other elements of creation, the axis, the tree, the human being, and the cross. The symbol of the cross may have a very old astronomical origin. The primary meaning of the cross is that of the four directions. So it refers to the human being and its double expansion, horizontally and vertically, the union of the contraries, the resolution of the opposites, the very core of the cross. The two opposites forces become one. It is identical to the concept of tree of life, and also the axis of the world. Ibn Arabi says that the al-aql al-awwal, the first intellect, works as the axis of the world. Of the spiritual traditions from India, this idea of tissue is very present in sacred texts. For example, the word sutra means thread, and tantra means also a concatenation of threads or crosses. This idea of the tissue, to compare it with texts, but also with the whole world or worlds, are woven as a chain and a weft. This is not a close presentation with everything in its concrete place and with a univocous meaning. I hope you like these ideas, and you may, I'm sure you can contribute to the things that I have spoken here. Thank you very much.